So I'm going to start by identifying my repeat. This one's very obvious. It's just one of these flowers, and I'm just going to build half of it because luckily it's a symmetric repeat. So to help me, I am going to be on the correct layer, and I'm going to drag guidelines out. So in order to get the guidelines, make sure that your rulers are visible. Mine are. And you'll click from the ruler and drag out. So that's one edge of my repeat, and then click. Sorry, I hate the mouse. Okay, so click and drag, and then we'll do as much in the center as we can. So we're just going to draw this half. So I'm just going to start with the biggest pieces first. I'm going to do no fill. And I'm creating a closed shape here. And I'm going to use my anchor point tool to help me get those to be the right shape. So again, this is going to be a little bit long, but it'll be worth it. Okay. And we'll do a nice thick line. Okay. The important thing when you're building lace like this is that wherever the guides are, you hold shift so it's square. So when I zoom in, you can see that no part of this line extends over the guideline. So if I didn't square that off, I'm holding shift in order to square it, and I just went like that, the repeat's going to get super messed up because this is over this line. So it's really important to make sure that all those are square. Same thing on this side. So if I were going to draw here, I'm going to click on the guideline, hold shift, and drag out those handles so that, again, there's nothing going on the other side of that guideline. Keep drawing, holding shift to make sure that's squared off. Oops. There we go. And same here. And then maybe I use slightly here. I think I need one anchor point there. And using direct select to edit when I need to. Okay, so here's where we can go to the side. I also want this, so I'm going to make sure that's nice and straight. That's going to be the edge of my brush. And here, again, I'm clicking, holding shift and dragging out the handles to make sure that's a nice flush piece. Same here. I'm going to click and click that guideline and hold shift to drag out. Same here, because I want all of this lace to, I'm going to zoom way in, and this isn't quite matching, so that would mess up our repeat. So I'm just making sure, and then there's a little piece here, so I'm going to draw a little line that would be, that's probably fine. But again, making sure that it's flush, so you may need to zoom away and there we go. Hopefully that's good. And we'll just do a couple more lines here. Bless you. Oops, I know I need that to be flush. And then this is on this side, but I know really it should be in the center, so I will draw a line there. But again, I'll make it, that's probably too small. Small. This side doesn't matter as much, but I am going to try and move some of this around to make sure it's okay. Okay. And we'll just do a couple more. And again, holding shift to make sure it's centered. Okay, I'm not going to draw these little doodads just because it's going to take time, but you would draw everything. And now we want to select our one side of our lace and reflect. So I've selected everything. I'm holding Option. I'm going to click this center guideline, make a copy. I think in your directions I said join. I don't think it super matters if everything at center front's joined, so I'm not going to do it. I am going to group this. Okay, so now we'll go to our brush panel and we're going to add that as a pattern brush. Click OK. Looks pretty darn good. I'm going to click OK. And let's see what it looks like. Nice, right? Okay, so if you notice though, the actual line is running through the center of this brush. So if I had a shirt and I wanted to put this on the hem, I couldn't line up my actual stroke. I'd have to line up over here. So there is a way that you can make this stroke line up with the edge of your trim. Just like we did the invisible rectangle on the rope trim, we're going to do an invisible anchor point on this. And again, that's what's going to tell the program where it needs to be. It's kind of confusing. I don't ask how or why. I just know that it is. Okay, so do a pen tool. No stroke, no fill. And we're going to just put down one invisible anchor point at the very bottom of our trim. So there it is. I'm going to keep that highlighted, and I'm going to reflect, and I'm going to hold Option, and I'm going to reflect it over the top because I want the anchor point to be here, or I want the stroke to go through here. So I'm going to hold Option and click the top, and I want to reflect it over the vertical axis, and I'm going to click OK. So now my anchor point has gone from the bottom all the way up here, right? I'm going to select both my artwork and my invisible anchor point and group them together so I don't lose that anchor point. And then I'm going to add it as a pattern brush. I'm going to click OK. Now we can check it out. So as you can see, the actual stroke is at the top now instead of through the middle. So that just makes it easier. Like if you have a shirt hem, let's make this a little smaller. So I'm going to double click that and I'm going to just make it a little smaller. Click OK. But if you have, let's say you have a t-shirt and you want to put this cool trim on the bottom, let's say here's the hem of your t-shirt. the nice thing is you could select just that line and copy and paste in front. Oops, yeah. And then all you'd have to do is apply that trim, and you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to move anything because the top of the trim is already aligned to the hem. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. We're recording because I want to show you how to add. So as you can see, my brush just abruptly ends. It has the repeat and abruptly ends. You can create tiles. So I'm going to Command C, Command V, and I'm going to make a start tile and an end tile. And I'm going to keep all of this grouped. And you can make whatever tile you want. I'm going to just make it super simple. And that'll be my start tile. And I'll make another copy. Oops. And I'll delete that. And we'll do the other side. Here, that's going to be my end tile. And I'll group those together again. Oh. All right. Okay, so now you're going to drag this tile into your swatch panel. So I've got everything selected, drag into my swatch panel. Same thing here. Now, when you go into your brushes, I'm going to select that last one that I did. And this is the option for start tile. So I'm hovering, it says start tile. So I know it's new pattern swatch 5 because that's the most recent one I put in. And the end tile, I'll do new pattern swatch 6 and hit OK. And let's leave these strokes as they are. So this is what we started with. So with your end and start tiles, and it didn't work. I chose the wrong one. Here we go. So now you have a nice clean start and a nice clean end. So if you wanted, you could make that loopy or swirly or however you wanted to end it. I just did it really simply. But that's a nice way that you can end your brush.